Zach, what can your line do to translate some of that hard work and the chances you're getting into goals in Game 7?
Yeah, I think we just have to stick with it. I think that's extremely important. And then just get more pucks into the dirty areas. I think the goals that we scored have been off rebounds or just scrambles in front, and we've got to continue to do that, and then capitalize on our scoring chances that we're getting off the rush. I think that we've gotten a ton off that too, and just have to bear down.
Zach, hi. I can understand the beginning of Game 5 where they throw everything at you and you guys have a hard time responding. But when it happens almost exactly the same way one game later, how is it that you guys aren't ready to start either of the last two games?
Yeah, no, I think, it's unexcusable. Obviously, I think it's something that we've discussed as a team, and, we put ourselves in a good position being up 3-1, and now we have to take advantage of it in Game 7. So, that's on us, and we'll be ready to go for Game 7. We can't change anything in Game 5 or 6. It's something that we have to grow from and learn from, and be ready for Game 7. I think that the guys are ready, and it's a huge opportunity. It's an exciting time for us, and I think everybody knows that. And Montreal, Toronto, Game 7, we'll be ready.
Morgan, what can you and some of the other guys take from the previous elimination games that can help you and fuel you tomorrow night?
I think just having the experience of being there, obviously nerves come into play. It's a big challenge for us, but having that experience of playing these games, I think, helped.
Austin and Mitch obviously put a lot of pressure on themselves to produce. What's your sense of how they're handling everything?
I think they're doing great. I mean, it's, two guys that work extremely hard that are obviously very important to this team. And like you said, I don't think anyone's as hard on each other than they are. And I mean, they expect to produce, and they're doing a great job for us. So, two great players that I would expect to be prepared for a big challenge tomorrow.
Morgan, is there anything that you've identified that you guys can do better offensively, maybe to get some higher quality looks or more frequent looks to score?
Yeah, we've talked about some things. I mean, I think as a group, it comes back to playing with structure. And I mean, it starts with a forecheck, playing with speed, entering the zone with control and making plays, having confidence. Obviously, the power play is due. So, all those things are big factors. And I think as we talk about it here today, and we've talked about it earlier in the series, I think we know how to play. We've played these guys enough this year to understand each other pretty well. So it's just a matter of going out there, working and executing. And it's one game, so we have to, do what we have to do to create that offense.
Getting him out of the rhythm that he was in by trying to, play him more and put different people.
We'll go to Mike Zeisberger, NHL.com. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks for doing this, Sheldon. You've talked about it, but you've chased the game the last two nights, and even though the Habs didn't score in the first period last night, they were on the gas pedal right out of the gates, and the same thing in Game 5. I mean, you can preach to your players that you have to have the momentum coming out of the gate, but how do you get that to translate into, better starts?
Yeah, it's of course a question we've been talking through here today as a coaching staff. Obviously, that's an area of the game that hasn't been nearly good enough for us in the last two. There's a responsibility for the players to be ready at the drop of the puck, but as a coaching staff, and as the head coach, I take a lot of that responsibility myself to have the group ready, and it hasn't been the case. So, we're looking at that. We're talking about that. I think it is, of course, a very important thing for us to establish that. At the same time, Montreal is a team that's going to come with lots of energy and speed and pressure early. When in the games where we've had success as a team, we've managed that early on and then pulled away as the game has gone along. They've been able to, establish their game for a longer period of time here in the last couple, and we need to change that.
Hi, Sheldon. I want to ask you, there's an old saying where, we hear that your best players need to be your best players. Do you believe that to be the case for tomorrow, where you're going to absolutely need Mitch and Austin to come out and be difference makers for you guys to win it?
Yes, of course. In a game of this magnitude, those guys need to be difference makers for us. Like I said, we're not down on their game and how they've played. I think they've played really well, and I think as I said, I've gone through and looked at the number of chances that they've missed throughout, and just how fine a line it is from them, really breaking out and having huge offensive numbers to being where they're at here now. Obviously, there's been increased attention on it now that we've lost the last couple of games, but when we were in control of the series, less so. And I thought they had been doing a good job there. They know the responsibility they have to the team. That said, it doesn't let anybody else off the hook, myself included, in terms of the roles that we have to play as a group to be able to win a game of this magnitude.